Morning. I'm Durga Maddhali, and I have 15 years of experience developing software for major banks and insurance companies. And today I'm going to teach you about HTML DOM. What is HTML DOM? Why did the World Wide Web Consortium introduce a DOM standard? How does a web browser allows major programming languages like JavaScript to access and modify HTML elements using DOM? And in the last, I'll show you how can you see the elements or the nodes being created by the web browsers in detail. So let's start the presentation. What is HTML DOM? HTML DOM is HTML. It stands for HTML Document Object Model. What is it used for? So it is used for the programming languages like JavaScript to interact with the HTML document, which is nothing but HTML document is nothing but any HTML file, the file with an extension .html. The programming languages can access and interact, and modify the HTML elements using document object model structure. What web browsers do is when a web server send any HTML file to the browser, it converts those HTML files into objects and create a structure and provide an interface for the programming languages like JavaScript to access those objects and even modify them. So that's the main intention of document object model. So it's nothing but modeling or changing the HTML documents into objects which can easily be accessed by the programming languages. So why do we need DOM? So why can't JavaScript directly access the HTML documents and and use it? Sorry, because we have different platforms, operating systems, and devices on which we have to render HTML documents, and we cannot have each and every language have its own code to translate. Use the HTML documents. So the World Wide Web Consortium, they came up with a standard, which is Document Object Model Standard, through which they say that, okay, the HTML document will be converted. These are the objects into which these documents will be converted, and these objects will be shown in a particular structure, which is a tree structure. Any programming language on any operating system, they can access this tree structure. They can modify. They can listen on the events which are being fired by this objects, the styles, the attributes of the elements. So that's the main intention, to provide a common standard wherein different programming languages and different operating systems can use the HTML documents in the same way. Languages don't have to write their own code for different, to access the HTML documents. So that's the main intention of why DOM was introduced. So here I have, let's think that a web page returns this HTML documents to a web browser. So this is a very simple HTML document where I have a HTML element, and within which I have a head element and a body element. The head has a title which says all about HTML DOM, and we have a body which has a title, a header which is called what is DOM, and then we have a text element which shows some text which explains about DOM, and it also has a style, or it's very simple HTML document. Now when a web server receives this document, how does it convert? So it converts browser converts this HTML document into a tree structure. So what does it do? It creates the root is the document under which we have a child element of HTML, and HTML has two child elements which are head and the body, and the head has title, and in the title, if you see, title doesn't have any other elements, but it has text within it. For that, it's a text element. So these are all called the nodes of the trees, and there are different kinds of elements. So the head element, title element, and title has text, which is a text node over here. So if you go to the right side of the HTML, we have body, and body has its child header h1, and header h1, if you see, has just the text within it. So text node, these are all called nodes, as I mentioned before. So body has another child, which is a div, which is used for rendering some text, which explains about DOM stands for. This is a simple parent-child nodes. This is a tree structure, and programming languages can traverse through it. Like, for example, I can say, what is give me the parent of that is title element, give me all the header element, give me all the div elements or the text elements. So programming languages can easily access all these elements and listen to the events, modify them, and play with these elements. And this plays a very important role with the single page applications, where we are not rendering the whole page, but we are rendering the page only single page, but the elements within the page gets changed based on the user needs. So the programming languages can just change the header to something else based on the context. So that's mostly explains about the DOM, how does it look like, why do we need DOM, and you know, how do web browsers convert the HTML documents so that the programming languages can use. And last, I would like to show you how you can go to use any browser, use a developer console to see the details about each of these nodes. For example, the HTML node or the head node or the body node, you can easily see what data is available within that. So if you go open any browser, if you use any website, visit any web page or you know, website, when you see a web page, what you can do is right click on that page and there is an element called inspect in this menu, context menu. So in the context menu, if you click on the inspect, you can see a web console which is shown, and if you click on any of these elements on the left side and go to the highlighted properties tab on the right, you can see the different nodes, different objects which are being created by the browser, which follows DOM standard. This is the same standard, so even if you open in any browser, you will see the same kind of information, because it's a common standard which is being used across different browsers. So check out, click on the different elements, see what kind of nodes or DOM nodes are being created, what are different properties, how the styles are being you know, are being set within the elements, how the attributes are being set. Explore them. You know, you can also see the different events which are being raised by these elements. So that's about the document object model. If you have any questions, do feel free to send an email to dsmaddhali@gmail.com. I'll take some time to reply back to your questions. Have a nice day.